sit over here so I can.
We've been talking about the Proverbs in this class, thinking about what wisdom the Proverbs have for us. Thousands of years after these were first spoken, passed down, written down, we're still reading them, and we're still benefiting from these Proverbs. We've been looking at different topics or themes, and today we're thinking about friendship. Friendship. We're going to wrap up our study next week thinking about family, which is another big topic in the Proverbs. But friendship is probably even more important. And you can agree or disagree, but let's start off with a couple of general statements about friends and what friends are. So, can someone read 18:24? Proverbs 18, verse 24.
Some friends are fun to be with, but a true friend can be better than a brother.
Some friends are fun to be with, but a friend can be better than a brother. So we mean different things when we use the word friend, right? Not all friends are equal. What are some different kinds of friends?
Acquaintances.
Okay, acquaintances, people you bump into, maybe you work with, live with. What? Platonic, yeah. There's still a little bit of distance there. Yeah, and sometimes those are friends that can help you, and you help them, but it's like a trade. Yeah, that's right. What were you saying, Megan?
I got work friends, and then I've also got church friends, and I got friends that I spend a lot of time with.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the best kind of friend? The best kind. What's the best kind of a friend?
Well, I don't know if it's on point.
Jesus is a friend. Jesus is a friend. But he's not always right. I mean, he is always right here. But he's not right here in the same way Mark's right here. So we need Jesus always, but we also need people like Mark, right? What do we call those kind of friends? I mean, I think the word is used in that proverb. A good friend?
True.
A true friend? Yeah. What's a true friend?
A friend that has a good education heart.
Yeah, that's really important. They want what's best for you. They're not in it for something they can get out of it. Yep.
I think they're supportive, but they're also honest.
Supportive and honest. Proverbs is going to talk a lot about both of those things.
I think that phone when they really need to be, when they really need some friend to be that phone.
They're there when you need you.
Yeah.
Or they're there when you need them. Yeah. So, maybe you're thinking about Johnny.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
Johnny's a true friend. Stay with his buddy in the hospital all week. Yeah. Yeah. We want to hold Johnny up for that. That's what we all want, and it's really what we all need, isn't it? We need somebody that's going to stay with us no matter what, that's going to be there for us, that wants what's best for us, that's not in it for their own gain. They're going to be honest with us.
I agree completely with what you're saying. I've got some wonderful friends, sometimes they can't be there
It's true.
because sometimes we got to open it.
That's right. That's right. But there is a kind of friend that will be there no matter what. So someone read 17:17.
You may read it?
Go ahead, Joe.
A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity.
So what's the difference in a friend and a brother, a family member? Friend loves at all times. Family's family, right? What's the big difference between a friend and a family member? What? Which one has unconditional love? We can put it like this. They're always a brother. They can't be unbrothered. It doesn't mean they always act like a brother. But you can't get away from family.
If you act with a brother, a family member, you should attend to them more than anybody else. Just because they don't attend to you the way you would attend to them, that doesn't matter, in my opinion. We are Christians. We should do what God tells us to do. We follow a different guideline. Now, other people may not. But in my mind, as a brother, I'm a brother to my brothers, and I help them. Even when I know they wouldn't help me back.
Yeah, there's an obligation.
Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
That's a good point. If you have unconditional love for your brother, biological brother,
My husband said,
may not for a friend, because you choose your friends.
yeah, that's what
And
my
the friend
husband
is
just
not
said.
one that may not give back to you.
And my best friend, I'm gonna tell you, if I said, hey, I need you, he'd be here in a heartbeat. The same for me to him. He's like a brother from another is what we call him.
Yeah, this idea of choosing is key, but go ahead. More likely to? If they're around.
He's talking about true.
True friend, yeah.
That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, true friend, real friend.
I think true friends trump brothers.
Why do you think that?
Because them the ones that really, I don't know, they hold it down. Like, no matter what, they're not.
Yeah.
Sometimes brothers and stuff can be in competition with each other.
Yeah.
All secret envy, all kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that true friend is somebody that you can always depend on.
And you can tell them stuff that you wouldn't tell your parents.
Amen.
You know what I mean? Have somebody to talk to for real.
Yeah, again, that's what makes a true friend a true friend. They're going to be there for you no matter what. And family's complicated. Like you said, there's a rivalry, there's history there, there's all kinds of... Right. But Phil put his finger on the big difference. You don't pick your family. You're just given a family. You don't pick them. You may not like them. They may not like you. But your family, you're stuck. Right? But friends are people that you choose each other. It's like marriage in that sense, right? You choose the person you're going to marry. And that's a different kind of relationship than one which you're just born with. And because you choose it, sometimes that makes it a stronger and deeper relationship. You know, I have a great brother. I like him. He's good. But we're not really friends. We're brothers, you know. We're going to be there for each other. We're going to help each other. But we're not friends. We wouldn't hang out on the weekends. We're just different. You know, we like each other, but we're not friends. But a friend may be stronger than a brother. That's what Proverbs says. True friend can be stronger than a brother. Let's look at this last one, 27:10.
Do not forsake your friend and your father's friend, and do not go to your brother's house in the day of your calamity.
More to that.
Oh, yeah. Better is a neighbor who is near than a brother who is far away.
And sometimes that's the difference right there, that last part. Say that last part again, Nathan.
Better is a neighbor who is near than a brother who is far away.
So sometimes it's not that family's bad or doesn't care or you don't like them. It's just that they're not close. I mean, this is true for me. It's probably true for you guys. Family is all over, not here. And when you need something, it's the person who's here who is the one who may be able to help you. Yeah. So a neighbor is not even like a true friend. A neighbor is just there. It may be more like an acquaintance. But that's going to be better than a brother in some situations because they're just present, proximate, close. Does that sound right? Yeah. So let's see what the Proverbs has to say about friends. Some things aren't going to surprise you, and then there's some kind of odd things because Proverbs were written a long time ago in a different culture. But I think you'll see a lot of it still resonates. And I think it'll be interesting for us to say, what would we put on this list that's not in the Proverbs? Because I would have some different things on the list. So Proverbs talks a lot about bad friends. It talks some about good friends or ideal friends. And then it gives us some advice about how relationships can go wrong, how we sabotage our relationships. So I want to focus on these last two, but we should talk a little bit about bad friends. So I'm just going to read the list here to you, and we can maybe look at a couple of these. I don't know if we need to look at all of them, but who is a bad friend according to a song or proverb? Sinners don't make good friends. The wicked, pretty similar. Don't make good friends. And I think going back to your point, sinners and wicked people are out for who? Right. It's hard to be a good friend when you're looking out for number one. Thieves, yeah, same thing. Do what? Thief? Yeah, you got to know about that, don't you? Don't be friends with a thief. Hotheads, what about that one? Proverb doesn't say don't be friends with these people. It mostly says be careful about being friends with these people, because you can be friends with any kind of person, but some kinds are going to be a harder relationship. Yeah, you want to read that one, 22-24? There's a lot about anger in the Proverbs. Go ahead, man.
Make no friendship with a man given to anger, nor go with a wrathful man.
Yeah. What's risky about somebody that loses it easily?
He ain't thinking.
Get hurt? Not thinking? Yeah, it's just the emotions driving everything.
The next verse says that you're going to learn his ways, and you're going to become more angry because of it.
That's part of the issue with all these folks is in some relationships, it's going to affect me negatively. I'm going to become more like them rather than become more like me. Right? You ever been in a relationship where you got pulled down instead of pulled up? Right. Good friend, true friends, pull us up. We pull each other up. But there are some things that pull us down. Prostitutes are on there. People that drink too much, eat too much. These are just bad habits. You know, we can throw in a lot of things in there with bad habits. People that gossip. Let's read that one, 2019. Yeah. Yeah.
He that goeth about as a talebearer,
Talebearer.
revealeth secrets. Therefore, meddle not with him that flattereth with his lips.
So this is easy to read. You cannot trust someone who would talk about things told in private, so don't be friends with someone who talks too much.
You ever been friends with somebody that runs their mouth? Telling other people your business? It's really hard to have a relationship when you don't know if what you're saying is going to be spread around everywhere 2 minutes after you say it, or texted or something else.
And it's about 50 stories at the end. I mean, they heard every story that they can think of. None of them right.
Yeah.
And Alden, what's the scripture that gives what I always call the top 5 or top 7? I'm going to brag. Talks about adultery.
The 7 deadly sins?
Yeah, 7. And gossip's there.
Yeah.
But yet we don't talk about it. You don't hear a lot of sermons about it.
That's right.
It's put in occasionally, but
it's one of the worst.
Yeah.
It will kill a relationship. It'll kill a community. Again, you can have a relationship with someone who runs their mouth, but it's hard to be a true friend to somebody that runs their mouth. Talebearer. Johnny?
Gossip kind of goes with the 10 Commandments because it's kind of like life, and at some point they're going to twist what you say around to try to fit what they're trying to come across and say and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Possibly they make friends and stuff like that using your business to tell somebody else.
That does happen. It does happen that it gets twisted. But even if they're telling the honest truth, sometimes you don't want that to be spread around. So, but you're right, Donnie. Deceivers make it on our list. People that lie, don't tell the truth. Troublemakers, that can be a lot of things. But be careful about being friends with a troublemaker.
Oh, your sister. She's a big trouble.
just trying to be nice. Now this last one is one of the strange ones, but it comes up several times in Proverbs. It says, don't be friends with guarantors of surety. What in the world? Someone who guarantees a surety. In our language, this is somebody who wants you to co-sign a loan.
Right.
Somebody who wants you to get into some kind of financial situation. What's the risk if someone says, hey, I need you to co-sign this loan for me so I get this money?
Big risk.
You're going to skip town. There's all kinds of dangers with this, right?
Mess up your name.
Yeah, mess up your credit, your reputation. This may be somebody that's trying to take advantage of you, right? Now, that's not to say there's never a time to help someone. We've already seen how much Proverbs talks about helping the poor, right? So there are ways that we need to help people in need. But this is something different. This is taking advantage of someone. Yeah, maybe.
How does that like relate to like when Jesus says, like yes be yes and your no be no? Like, does that relate to that in any way?
Oh, on the co-signing?
Yeah, I guess if like, or just like on the more of like if we're to be a guarantor, like you know what I'm saying, like to make sure we're not that, you know.
Well, it's not about dishonesty. It's just about risky business. I think. I mean, the yes and no would probably be more of like deceivers, or maybe even the people who gossip. But this is just financial. Proverbs has got a lot of money stuff in it, right? And it's just a different economy than ours.
My version doing that. My version says one who lacks hands gives a pledge. So I mean that just makes it.
Okay.
It sounds like a promise, I guess.
It is a promise, but more like a promise in a loan, not like an oath in court. Yeah. Pledge, surety, pledge. Okay, so we can go on and on. Anything you would add to the list about what makes a bad friend or a friend to be careful of? Yeah.
I had a friend that was a little too righteous for me.
Too righteous, okay.
He pointed out all my shortcomings.
Yeah.
Years later, I found out he ain't quite a bit more than I did, so I didn't have any trust. So if a man ain't had no bad experience, I have a hard time with him. If a man hadn't made any mistakes,
Yeah.
I have a hard time trusting him. Because he doesn't understand what I'm somebody who's made mistakes and I have a lot of gratitude. Forgive me. I want to call some man who's made some errors like I have in life.
And he's honest
He
about it.
has common ground.
Yeah.
It keeps you humble.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Somebody had a little too much righteousness in him, and I was good. Because he pointed out, yes. I still have you done it? Yes.
So it sounds judgmental, too. Yeah. Too righteous, judgmental. And I think you're right. A lot of times that's somebody that's hiding some stuff. They're not being honest.
When you have some difficult times, you may not be quite where you are. It's a hurtful thing because you come to the hope, get a little boost.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that and how you sabotage a relationship. That's absolutely one of the ways. What else would you throw on this list for a bad friend? Yeah.
I think someone who's content in where they are spiritually, like they don't want to grow anymore.
Yeah.
So I think maybe you go back to like John, they don't really abide in the vine or the branch or whatever. They're just content being in with Jesus at a distance.
That's a really good point. And spiritually, but you could think in any way, just someone that's not wanting to grow and improve. In the ancient world, one of the key definitions of a good friend was someone that would grow with you. That's Aristotle's definition of a friend. So yeah, that's a really good one. All right, Donnie, last one. What would you throw on the list?
Full of a man or a person or woman, it could be anybody, that you try to talk to about God and they won't believe God. And for some odd reason they become mad at you and they start gossiping about you.
Yeah.
That people come at you, and that's kind of the devil, because if you're trying to talk to them about God or something and they're not receptive,
Yeah.
then the devil's going to try to use them to try to come at you
Now, I will say, can we be friends with people who are not believers or atheists or?
Well, if they're angry, well, then we best just kind of.
Yeah, that's the difference right there.
That's just hard, because my dad was an atheist, and it's real hard to be, I had to take me a long time to understand my father and everything.
Yeah.
He was an atheist, and that is one, they seem like they the devil by themselves.
Yeah.
You know, that they just came in and started. So,
Yeah, it can be.
I think you can interact with these people and you can be friends with them in some ways, but you can't let them be influences on you. So don't let them get too close, but you want to be close enough because maybe you can be a light.
That's right. And I would say if you're sharing the gospel with people and you become friends to share the gospel, and then they reject the gospel, and you're like, okay, we're done. Well, that doesn't look like a real friend. That looks like you taking advantage of people.
Jesus would wipe his hands clean people that wouldn't receive the gospel that way.
Well, in some cases, but other cases, he was a friend of sinners. You know, so.
He said with the sinners, he tried to preach to them and try to show them.
Yeah.
But at some point, he kind of wiped his hands clean. It's like when they turned the temple. And the thieves started flipping tables and stuff.
Problem with having a friend that's atheist is running close minds.
Yes.
Open up their minds and hear the gospel. Make an educated decision because they're always stuck out there.
And I think that's exactly it. And Donnie's saying anger, but closed-mindedness. But you can have a Christian friend that's closed-minded, and that's hard to be a true friend to them too. So anyone that's not willing to grow, willing to change, willing to think, it's going to be hard. So it's not just what do you believe, but it's what kind of person are you. That what really matters.
but no matter what you believe or not believe, at the end you're going to call on this name of God.
That's right.
Every knee shall bow and every tongue confess.
That's right. So no matter what you believe, you still gonna go down. Get what?
Yeah, little prophetic word there. Yeah, okay, agree.
Your friend has to be your moral compass where your friend is. And they have to have the same values as you have friends.
I think a good friend does, but you have to agree on everything.
So,
Could a Democrat be friends with a Republican? I don't know. In this world. But in theory. You should. But you can share moral values without agreeing on immigration, for example. Right? Or even agreeing on God. Again, you can be friends with someone who's very different from you. But still have certain things in common, still have a common willingness, openness. Yeah.
Define friend. How about this?
We didn't give a technical definition, but essentially it's the person who's there for you. Now, I can give you a little better definition, and this also comes from Aristotle. Aristotle, an ancient Greek philosopher, wrote a lot about friendship. Aristotle said a friend is a second self. It's someone who loves you like they love themselves. He said that 400 years before Jesus said, love your neighbor as yourself. But a friend is someone who loves you like they love themselves. Friendship is also going to be reciprocal. That means it's always a back and forth. It's not I'm giving all the time or I'm taking all the time. It's a different kind of relationship. And then we can keep going with qualities, loyalty, honesty. I think to be a second self means I can share all of myself with you because I trust you. Right? You're not going to spread it around, all these sorts of things. Okay. Oh. Almost out of time. Well, unsurprisingly, a good friend is just the inverse of all we've been talking about. Right? If a bad friend breaks trust and spreads rumors and stuff, a good friend is honest, is loyal. A good friend loves you. And that means they are not quick to anger, but they're slow to anger. Proverbs talks about that. They forgive you when you mess up. A good friend is somebody that is wise in speech. And what does it mean to be wise in speech? Proverbs talks about being calm, someone who's not anxious when you're around. They also say, they give good advice. Good friend gives good advice. That's hard to come by. And then a good friend is humble. And what that means is they value you better than themselves. But if it's reciprocal, you're also valuing them more than yourself. So it's a back and forth, right? Exactly right. Yeah. So there's lots of ways to mess this up, and we all know this. We've all had these relationships. Someone that's looking for revenge, that's holding grudges, that'll sabotage a relationship real fast. Breaking confidence. Again, spreading rumors, spreading stories. Proverbs talks a lot about that. We read these if we have time. Proverbs 3:27-28 talks about withholding goods. If I'm not sharing my stuff and my life with you, how can we really be friends? Right? If I put you down, if I start making fun of you, if I belittle you, and have you ever heard this? Have you ever heard someone belittle you and then say, I was just joking? Proverbs actually talks about that. The man who puts you down and says, I was just joking. What? No, it wasn't. That'll break down and destroy friendship very fast. Proverbs talks about monopolizing time, and again, it'd be fun to read these because this is the person who comes over and doesn't leave. That's not a good friend. Right? There's another funny proverb about the one who calls early in the morning to say hello. It's like, I'm not up yet. Why are you over here telling me good morning when I'm not up yet? So it's someone who takes up all of your time, doesn't respect you, and And then the last one, and again, I think to your point, someone who's insensitive to feelings. And we're all deal with feelings in different ways, right? But someone who just doesn't seem to care or is oblivious to feelings. This has been fun. I'm not surprised that you guys have a lot to say about friendship because this touches everybody's life. And all of us are bringing practical experience to the conversation. Hopefully you've seen some wisdom here. Maybe not something new, but something that confirms what you already thought. But maybe there's something new here. So we got one more week on the Proverbs. We'll think about sitting on a rooftop rather than listening to a complaining spouse, things like that. And then we will move on, I think, to a study of Paul. So something in the New Testament. Been here in the Old for a while.
Proverbs also say, no knowledge from the land of man.
That's right. That's right. A lot of good things.
When he says be wise as the serpent, but get gentle as the dove, what that mean?
What does it mean to be? That's Jesus saying that.
Yeah, what that mean?
Yeah. I think what it means is we know what's going on in the world. Wise like a serpent. So I understand. My eyes are open, but I'm going to respond differently.
Okay.
So there's people that are like doves and don't see what's going on. They don't understand the world. And then they get hurt. There's people that understand the world and then act like the world. Those are the serpents.
Okay.
Jesus is saying, be like a serpent in knowing and understanding. Be like a dove in responding. Jesus' eyes are open. He knows how bad things are. He's not surprised when they crucify him. Right?
See it before it happens, but you're better to speak on it. So when you do speak on it, take heed to it because it can vice versa and backfire on you at the same time. So I can see a guy that's saying something that he don't know what we're talking about, but I'm not going to say nothing because I know.
That's good, yeah. Like a dove. Nice.
Nice.
All right, we got to wrap up. We'll come back together for worship in 10 minutes. Thanks for a good class.